So this is the mill, formerly known as the timber mill. And although we're still processing some timber elements,
Yes.
there's a lot more, the light gauge steel introduction has meant that we're coming more and more away from timber products within the company. The steel that you can see in there with the holes punched for fixing together and for service holes is all produced on the Howick machine next door.
Okay.
Although we had the potential to run 5 different profiles ultimately, we've only been running one profile for the first few months. And that was to produce a section of our building makeup. We've now increased the usage and capacity of the machine. And we started producing the floor joists for our buildings. We're producing the external wall panels for the buildings. We're producing other structural elements within the build, as well as the pack walls.
This is your baby. You look after this?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nobody else can have this.
No, that's good. We like it when there was a dedicated person looking after the machine.
Yeah, and obviously we've got a few of us in here which are
Yeah.
trained to use it, but as the team leader in this area, I sort of take responsibility for
That's good.
it all, the maintenance, the running, who's going to use it, what we're running through on there. So
Yeah.
I think a big part of choosing Howick as our choice for the LGS was the fact that the feedback from the technical support was superior to other. So and hence the choice of the Howick machine. Which we've seen firsthand.
Yes.
So we've had multiple trips down. They're always on the end of the phone.
It's good response.
A huge benefit to us as a growing company was the fact that the storage comparison between light gauge steel and timber was just worlds apart. We got thousands of linear meters of storage capacity within a really small space, you know? Whereas the equivalent in timber fills barns outside for us.
That's a really significant point that
it
we
is.
haven't thought about, eh? It's just,
Really? Oh,
Well,
no, it's huge for us.
See, because you've experienced both, so you know the difference. But I never thought about timber storage.
Much quicker to put the LGS together than the timbers.
Fantastic.
Yeah, much prefer it.
We have a convert here. I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
I know, it's...
Definitely, because something we haven't talked about either was defective product. So whereas with the timber and having that natural product come through the lines and susceptible to the damp, the dry, the heat, the cold.
Yes.
They warp, they bend, they split. All sorts of different things were happening with the timber. And we had quite a high rejection rate. Having now gone over to the light gauge steel and using the Howick machine to do that, am I right in saying that we're still at 0 rejection?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Obviously,
we're at 0 rejection.
We have waste, which comes out at the end. There's nothing we can do about that.
Nope.
But, you know, we can look at our meterage that we're producing to what wastage we're getting, and it's
it's all recyclable, right?
It's all recyclable. We sell it back.
Exactly.
we sell it back to it.
But the tiny pieces that come off generally between cuts when we're running programs, it's so small and insignificant compared to the tons and tons of timber that we were just shipping off and paying to get rid of. It's saved us a lot in waste costs.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a bigger discussion about being friendly to the environment, sustainability, and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
There's 2 sides to that discussion, but for the likes of yourselves, you see it.
Absolutely.
How much timber you're wasting. Versus how little steel you're wasting, or it's not really wasted because you get money back and it's recyclable. So,
absolutely.
No, fantastic.
So we have the petitions team, we'll have finishing team, and we've also got a dispatch team who's sheeting down the buildings, prepping it with the heat shrink transport sheeting ready for dispatch. Quality checks are taken care of throughout the process. So there's a lot of stages that it goes through each team to quality check the product. And then before dispatch, we have a final stage quality checks carried out by the check department, who are then signing off that building as fit for site. We will produce an empty module on a rate of about 5 a day.
5?
On a 4-day working week. We are trying to get ourselves in a position where we can produce 30 a week by the year 2030.
That's a good
That's our current ambitious target.
So what you're trying to do is give the team a 4-day work week.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
It is.
And a 3-day weekend?
Yeah. It is exactly 1 year to the day that we moved over to a 4-day working week. So I've had some guys putting together some data, and we've seen, if anything, a slight improvement in our productivity. It gives us the flexibility to run any overtime if we need it.
Yeah.
But the 4 days compared to the 5 days, we've seen no change in productivity. If anything, a slight uplift. So,
Love it. Can we implement that at ours? Perhaps we'll start with you introducing yourself first, Ben. I'm sure the audience will know who you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
So my name is Ben Wernick.
Yeah.
Managing Director of Wernick Buildings,
Sure.
and I'm also the Health, Safety, Environmental Director for the group. After university, I did a 14-year career in the Army, and then I came and joined back in 2016. Joined the family business.
Okay.
So I'll give you the abridged version of the family history.
Sure.
So it goes back to 1934, and actually the roots were into family were butchers, came over from Poland at the turn of the century, and what they found was they actually made more money from selling chicken boxes than the chickens that were in the boxes.
Love that.
So the family moved from being butchers to woodworking, making boxes, selling boxes, to chicken sheds, to portable chicken sheds, to portable buildings, and it grew from there. So it was my great granddad,
Yes.
Samuel Wernick. So S. Wernick and Sons was the company.
Right.
And then it went from my great granddad, Samuel Wernick, my granddad, Joe, and then the other side of the family, we've got Lionel Wernick, David Wernick, who's the chairman, and Jonathan Wernick, that's the chief exec.
Yes.
So we've grown over the years to turning over 250 million now. We've got 36 sites. Difficult to know. David's always buying and selling them, and I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah.
So where we are today is Kenfig Industrial Estate, the home of Wernick Buildings,
Yes.
where we manufacture our modules and distribute them around the UK and also to the other companies. So the advantage of Wernick's is similar to Howick in it's a family-owned company.
Yes.
And we own all our own sites.
Yes.
And then we also have a lot of intercompany trading. So we've got Wernick Hire,
Yes.
Wernick Events,
Yeah.
Wernick Power Solutions, Wernick Refurbished Buildings, Wernick Buildings, Wernick Construction. And people talk about sustainability, and most people just play lip service to it.
Yeah.
But what we're actually able to do in Wernick's, which is part of our model,
Yep.
is Wernick Buildings can manufacture a building. We can then sell it internally to Wernick Hire, that could then hire it out for 10, 15 years, multiple clients or single client.
Yes.
And then Wernick Refurbished Buildings can then take it back to their site in York, strip it all the way back, refurbish it, and then sell it again.
Look at that.
So it's got some, environmentally, it's got some great aspects to it from a sustainability, also looking at the
Yes.
financial and other things. It's able to churn money internally is a great business
Yep.
asset that we have.
Wernick has decades of experience in modular building before modern methods of construction was even a thing. So this is something you live and breathe. Just what are your thoughts on today's in the movement towards sort of moving away from so-called traditional buildings and towards modular, etc. Sort of give us your thoughts on the industry, perhaps.
So the whole phrase of modern methods of construction is just a ridiculous statement.
Yeah.
Because the original construction was modular, was temporary, which would have been tents. You know, you look at how everyone used to live hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago.
Yes.
And so it started in that. And from a historical military perspective, the first recorded example of a temporary building was actually 1066, the Battle of Hastings, when the French brought over with them modular forts.
Wow.
So, and then World War One, World War Two,
Yes.
Mulberry Harbour. You look at how things have developed, and actually, modular temporary is the oldest form of construction, bar probably a cave.
I love that. Yeah.
And so, is it modern? No. It's just what's happened is we have a short-term memory in society, and so you go through a period post Second World War. You then go into SIPs. So you're looking at fast construction,
Yes.
SIPs houses, which is still around today and only had a design life of sort of 15 years. And that's classed as modern, but it's not really. So, and you then look at what we would class as traditional now, concrete, concrete reinforced structures in the whole evolution of humanity can't really be classed as modern or traditional, I should say. So it's just a phrase. We should actually drop the whole phrase modern methods of construction, and we should just call it buildings. And how a contractor, be it a traditional contractor or a modular contractor, how the contractor decides to build it is up to them under a design and build contract. So actually, my view is that we should drop the phrase modern methods of construction because it's outdated and it's meaningless.
Love it. I love your perspective on that. That's fantastic. I love the little bit of history education as well. I think you're right about humanity though. We do have very short memory. I don't know if I should ask this next question about sort of what sort of useful advice you would be willing to share to anybody out there who's going to adopt smarter ways of building, a switch to modular construction. Is that something that you'll be happy to answer? Is that something that you kind of...
So my single piece of advice
Yes.
is, and this is go back a stage, is my ex-military days and public money and people wasting money. And people love paying consultants. Because if you're in the public sector and you pay a consultant, you can't be held accountable because, well, you went to a consultant. Therefore, you are only going off best advice. So the number of times that projects come to us, and I had one this morning in the feasibility, there was a traditionally designed building which the client couldn't afford. They took it to complete design. The design was absolutely insane when you took into account the client's budget. So the architect, didn't do a great job, being that the whole project wasn't plausible. And then they came to us.
Yes.
And then what we do, as we often do, is we then strip it down. So all the money that they've wasted on consultants or spent on consultants is wasted because we ignore it.
Yep.
And we go back to first principles using our building system. So my advice to any client or anyone wanting to spend money on a building project is to be very clear at the outset what their expectations are, what the requirements are. And there's the holy triangle of quality, time and cost.
Yes.
And if you draw a triangle and you put a dot where it's important to you, and then from there you can go forward. And if it's time on site, it's going to lead towards modular because your time on site is considerably reduced.
Yes.
If your view is cost, modular and traditional aren't necessarily one's not necessarily cheaper than the other. Apart from with modular, when the buildings leave here, they leave with a weatherproof outer skin.
Yes.
And so if you then want to then clad it in brick, the brick's not doing anything apart from aesthetics. So it's to work out what your requirements are at the start. And if you think it might be modular, then to engage from the outset with a modular provider, whoever that is. And there's lots of great modular providers in the UK. So it's, if you're going to, work out what you need and then have a conversation to see if modular is the way forward or feasible. And if it is, speak to a modular provider
Okay,
at the
fantastic.
start.
What about aesthetics? You mentioned about brick, cladding, etc. So is there a perception out there that modular buildings are ugly? And do you have that objections? Do you have to overcome that objection?
So a lot of modular buildings out there are ugly.
I know.
A lot of traditional buildings out there are
Ugly as well.
It depends what you're trying to achieve. So
Yeah.
if you've got a large construction project and you want a load of offices, so a lot of people see modular modules at the side of motorways, sort of 2-3 stories. Old Oak Common for the HS2, we put a 4-story in. From the outside, is it aesthetically pleasing? I would argue it's a functional beauty, but it's not going to win architectural awards. What it's providing is an amazing space inside for people to do their jobs. But what you can also do is you can clad the building in brick, you can clad it in rain screen cladding, you can put wooden cladding on. So you can take a modular building,
Yes.
and you can make it from the outside, you can make it look however you want. A big thing to take into account, so a big negative of modular is physics, geometry. We have to be able to get the modules to site.
Yes.
And so you have a restriction going under bridges. So we will always be restricted on the height of a ceiling within a modular. So it's something else to take into account, but that's inside. So if you're after a vast atrium,
Yes.
it is impossible to do it solely by traditional.
Yeah.
As for the outside, which was your specific question, if a client wants to pay the money, then it can look as amazing as they want. It is a canvas.
Yes. Yes.
To satisfy the client as they wish.
Okay. Fantastic. So you've switched to light gauge steel for a lot of your projects, and I think if I understand Tom correctly, that's something that you want to move. That's something that you will continue to move towards, building with steel. What made you make the switch?
Timber is a great building product.
It is.
It's one of the key building products in the world. It's sustainable, it's easy to work with, etc., etc. However, there are some significant negatives to timber, and one of them is perception, to do with the combustibility, which is a perception of insurers who are wanting, and building regulations can say whatever it wants. If insurers don't want combustible materials, then they won't insure the building. And so you have to then move away from combustible material. Now, wood is a combustible material, statement of fact. The fact it's got a known chard rate, and it all can be calculated, is slightly irrelevant to some cohorts. So what we're trying to do is and it's a natural material, which means it absorbs moisture, it cracks, it has knots in it, there are impurities. So we're a manufacturer. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to control as much as we can.
Yes.
So the advantage of light gauge steel is it's a known strength. It doesn't rot. It oxidizes, granted. It's galvanized, so the oxidization, so the design life of it is prolonged. You can leave it outside.
Yes.
It can get wet. It doesn't swell. It doesn't bend naturally. We'll do under load, obviously.
Yeah.
And when you process it, particularly with the Howick machine, it produces very little noise. So, as part of, I said earlier, as part of my role, I'm health and safety director.
Yes. Yes.
So anything to reduce noise, dust, and vibration, whilst maintaining or reducing cost, gets my vote. So with the light gauge steel, the people don't need to wear ear defence. They don't need to wear a dust mask. And I don't need to check and monitor their hand-arm vibration, because there is no vibration when using it.
You were key in acquiring the Howick machine that you have in your factory. Sort of what led you to that?
So when I was out in Afghan, one of the contractors, Procon, who was a South African contractor actually, had a frame master. I'm sure it was a frame master 2000, whatever one it was, and it was based out the back of a ISO container. and we were able to do designs during the day, and designs were processed overnight in Dubai, and the next day the program came through and the machine was spitting out sections. So the speed of construction, and this particular machine also did the external cladding panels as well, which then sort of clipped together. So the speed of construction was amazing. So that's where I was first sort of introduced to light gauge steel framing machines.
Sure.
And then we were interested, our sort of R&D manager was also very interested in light gauge steel. So we started looking at it, and we looked at it a couple of years altogether, it must have been. And for some reason, like most of the world's light gauge steel framing machines are based in New Zealand. But we compared a few, and whether it was the team we met, price, etc. Purchased it. I went and visited, I think it was New Span, which was based in Wickford, and I went and had a look at their framing machines, how they did. They were very helpful. Again, it impressed me. And then we went against their advice, went for a five tool machine. They said they went for a 5-tool machine at the start, and they went, yeah, if we're doing it again, we wouldn't have done that. We'd have gone separate machines.
Yep.
And so we did exactly the same for exactly the same reasons, which is at the start, you don't quite know how it's all going to play out.
Yeah,
so well, one machine, because they're not cheap,
no,
to do a number of different profiles. And without a doubt, we will go through the same turn of the handle as we then settle our design and actually go, we do a lot more of this profile than other profiles, so we'll end up getting a machine.
Dedicated one,
Yes.
Before we get cracking, tell us a bit about yourself.
My name's Tom Roden. I'm the production manager for Wernick Buildings here in Kenfig, South Wales. I've only been here now for just under 2 years.
Yep.
So a relatively short time within the company compared to some of the guys who've been here for decades and really grown and seen the company grow from 30 years of experience plus some of the guys who've got here. My experience prior to coming here was not in modular. This is the first I experienced of modular when it came to Wernick Buildings. Prior to that, it was more residential site work and house building and site management there. And prior to that, internals and a lot of high-end bathroom fit out.
Fantastic.
And internal fit outs for residential properties. Yeah.
So why Wernick for you?
So prior to me starting with Wernick a couple of years ago, I was running my own company.
Yes.
And there was definitely, I wanted to change.
Yep.
There was a lot of pressure outside of work for me.
Yep.
And I wanted to come and join a company where I could focus my efforts during the working day.
Yes.
And then put it down.
Yes.
So that was my personal reasons for coming over to a corporate company. Yeah. But I had a lot of reservations prior to coming over.
Yeah.
Because I thought that it was going to be very rigid, structured, a lot of red tape. You couldn't really do anything. You couldn't be dynamic and nimble with running my own company.
Yes.
And I'd found that running my own thing, you could really build a team of people that you wanted to work with. Yes. And build that family over time. So I had reservations, but when I actually came to Wernick, and the more I've settled in here, I very quickly realised actually the family value. So from its roots as family run business, and the way that they've grown over time, but keeping things local, at least for the factory within South Wales. Spoke volumes to me, and it was a great opportunity for me to come in and be a part of a family team, I guess. But what I like as well is the fact that because we have such support from the group, we're still able to make investment into the company, and if something makes sense, we're encouraged to put that business plan together and just run with it and go with it. So things like the Howick machine, things like our new straddle carrier outside, and things like our 5-axis router that's coming to the business while I've been here has been a bit of an eye-opener to how a corporate, a large commercial company can run, but still very quickly and be reactive to what's required.
Did you study construction or did you pick that up?
I picked it up, and I've come about quite an interesting route, personally.
Tell us about it.
I started university
Yeah.
Studying education.
Cool.
Alongside that, I was also working construction jobs.
Yes.
I fell in love with the construction side more and more. But because I was already committed and I wanted to see something through, I ended up finishing a degree in education.
Sure.
The whole point of doing that was to go on and do a PGCE, so become a teacher.
Yes.
So I left. I had a little bit of a gap where I worked more and more construction and became more involved with that. I then left, did my PGCE, and then decided, no, I really don't want to do the teaching. I want to do construction.
Yes.
And so I started building more qualifications in construction area. Mm-hmm. And then that just evolved. And I was always running my own jobs, and that just grew from small residential fit outs and kitchen here and bathrooms. And that took off, and set up with a partner and really started growing the bathroom business. And then that evolved more and more into to house building eventually. And at that point, I realised I wanted to just have a bit of a change.
Yeah, the reason we're talking about sort of your personal journey is quite interesting because, like I said, you don't mind me saying you're quite young. So obviously the industry needs young people that is into technology, into fantastic ways of creating buildings instead of the old-fashioned swinging the hammer away, and firefighting on site. So I think you're a good role model for people because you started on a different track. You were going to do something different, and then you found that you just gravitated towards the industry. I think that's fantastic. There's a good story behind that.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny it's a good story, and everyone has their own interesting tapestry of life they've gone through and their careers that they've formed. Yeah. I've been delighted to see how well, for example, Mark Hamilton had picked up, having come from carpentry background and worked with timber all his working career. Yes. 2 years ago, we introduced the Howick machine into business. Yes. And he's just taken that on so quickly. So you'll have seen him running the machine today in the factory. He's picked it up like that. Duck to water. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, you see the pride that's on his face when he's running the machine. So. Yes, especially when so I think we spoke of it being his baby. And it really is. I think bringing young people through the doors has been a key thing that we've continued to do at Wernick. Great. We currently have 7 apprentices with us on site, carpentry apprenticeships at different stages through their apprenticeships. Yes. But we continue to, on average, a couple a year, take on new apprentices and bring them through the ranks. That's great. Yeah. So, and they can be as young as 16, 17. Yep. And we'll take on much older, more mature students as well, and bring employees into the fold of a much later stage in their careers as well, to just keep drawing on that experience and that's fantastic. Adapting and growing as we go. Getting the younger generation involved is important, obviously, and getting them into a place like this where you're embracing everything that is modern, everything that is efficient. It's a fantastic way of getting them into the industry. I think it's a good story behind that. It's a bit of a segue, but I thought it's worth exploring. So we're talking about modern methods of construction. What are your thoughts on the current modern methods versus traditional methods? What are your thoughts? There's pros and cons to modular versus traditional, but then that's not necessarily a black and white. It isn't, is it? We can't black and white term. No. That's traditional, that's modern. No. We're in a changing world, we're in a changing industry. Yeah. We like to think of ourselves as pioneers in modular industry and pushing forward with, for example, the light gauge steel usage within the factories and stripping away combustibles. I was a large driver, moving over towards the light gauge steel. The world changes, and it calls on different things, and the compliance as well. Nowadays. Absolutely, the regulations and the compliance is constantly evolving. And if you don't move, you're out. You get left behind. Yes, we've got a dedicated R&D team within
the facility here in Kenfig. They're constantly, there'll be acoustics testing, they'll be putting together new fire testing, makeups as we develop our product lines. And fire compliance, acoustic testing. We've done a lot of work recently on thermal testing. So where we've come away from timber, which is a great insulator, and moved into light gauge steel construction, we've got a challenge. And it's a big challenge. Because you don't have those great thermal properties that timber would bring. So there's been an abundance of in-house testing and external testing to make sure that we are more than compliant and that we can still integrate the LGS and know that we and our clients aren't going to come across issues in the future. And we just want to future-proof our systems.
I mean, you've got obviously a good pipeline of clients and work. They trust Wernick and they come to you for a solution. Have you come across any common objections or concerns about the way you're building, and how do you mitigate them?
Sometimes people can have a slanted view on modular, and I think there's a fear of that, like you said, when we're trying to compare traditional and what people are used to and modern. The changing world and what that brings. There's been a heck of a lot of improvement within the industry as a whole, and the flexibility that the modular industry brings, and also the speed and efficiency that it brings. Not to mention the quality control that we can oversee within a factory environment before we're shipping a quality product, lends itself well to the industry. It really those are our pros for outdoing the traditional market, if you like.
I'm just thinking that you will have some clients that will want to come in and eyeball the facility, how you build, etc., and get some assurance out of all that, and that you are definitely compliant and that everything is going to fit into place on site, etc. So that's where you guys come in and showcase the facility and assure them this is how things are done. And usually, would that have
Usually
helped?
that speaks volumes. Every few weeks, I'll be doing a factory tour for a potential client or a client who wants to see progress of their project. Any tensions generally are really relieved because they see the stages that the building goes through. They understand the depth and diligent behaviours of the staff. Within the facility, and they see that it's in safe hands. I love bringing people into the factory.
Isn't it?
Because
you sense of pride as well.
you show off what you're doing.
Show it off.
And then when you have that feedback that comes that says, "Wow, this is amazing. We love what you're doing here." I personally get that sense of satisfaction. But for the whole team, it's uplifting because we know, although it can be hard and we've got long days and we have challenges every day, it's not easy. But nothing good is. So we love getting involved and building quality product that someone can turn around and go, we love it.
And
we
then
want more.
They're blown because they're like, this is not what we expected, perhaps. Cool. That's awesome. Tell us a bit about yourself and what you do here.
I'm Mark Hamilton. I am the team leader in the panel assembly area, which is where the Howick machine is. My role over there is to ensure that the machine is maintained, running correctly. The correct amount of programs are sent down to us for my workforce to run through the panels, whether they be the externals, the internals, floor joists, many different things we're running on it.
What is interesting about you, Mark, is that you have a carpentry background.
Yes.
And you've worked with timber for decades.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, it has been a long time.
Since you were a baby, right?
Yes, a long time ago.
Tell us about your experience working with the machinery and also with the team. How you? I mean, you didn't have a choice. You were told, "Here's a Howick machine. This is what we're going to do. We're going to produce
Yes.
steel framing from this." Blah blah blah. And then at some point, obviously, you embraced it.
Yes.
Now that
Yeah.
machine is we call it your baby.
My baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I didn't even look at what it was going to be when they said, "Oh, you're having a metal machine coming in to produce metal panels." Oh, here we go, sort of thing. Turned up in this big container. That doesn't really look that big, really, for for what we make now, considering from the mill and the amount of machines we need in there to produce the same sort of panels which you should be making in LGS.
Okay.
So that's quite small. And obviously it was installed. Dion and Paul installed it in there.
Yes.
Very in-depth training.
Yes.
Because it's not a one-set machine. We've got five or six, I'm not sure offhand now, 5 or 6 different profiles that we can run through there. So obviously most of those need different toolings on there, which in fairness, the trainer support from the Howick was absolutely brilliant. And he was there. And I say, considering the other side of the world, there was no problem getting a response very quickly as well.
And of course, now we have 2 on the ground that can help and support you too.
Yes,
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
You had a team when you were working with timber.
Yes. Yeah.
You had to get them on board with assembling with steel, etc.
Yeah, maybe a little bit hesitant, along with myself, because obviously coming from the timber background, shall we say, going over to this, everybody has taken it on board. The guys over there, they think it's brilliant.
Fantastic.
So much better for their well-being, purely because of the weight of the panels.
They're not lugging heavy
timbers, because the amount of timbers that we had to put in to get there, to get to the level that we needed and the structure that we needed. With the LGS, obviously light gauge, it's so much lighter. Plus, obviously, we don't put a plasterboard on, which is at least saving us 50 kilos on each panel.
Okay.
So that's a big bonus. So obviously, we've done the fire tests through for LGS. It's deemed that we don't need it as with the rapid plans that timber panels that we do.
That's interesting. Okay. And also dust.
None.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
We're able to keep our area, the panel assembly, so much cleaner in there.
Nice.
I know all our timber was planed anyway coming through, but there was always sawdust off the saws where they restack them in the mill.
Yeah.
Which obviously we don't need anymore. We don't need. We're self-sufficient in there now.
Yeah.
The materials that I need, it's already in there.
Yeah.
So if I run out of a coil, I don't have to go chasing it. I know where it is. I can just put it onto the back of there, and it's there.
Yeah.
It's nothing really. The area that we take up for the amount, because it is 900 plus meters of steel on there. If you have 900 meters of timber, the footprint it's huge.
Yes.
It's absolutely huge.
That's something that was really interesting that you pointed out, because I never thought of it that way too. It's another advantage of using steel, isn't it?
Yes.
Storage space.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I see them when the panel has been run. The footprint for a panel is minimal. I mean, our external panels are 120 mil section, so it is slightly bigger, but it's still it's nothing.
Nothing.
Obviously, the stillages that we've got there, we're getting 20, 30 panels in that. To have that amount of timber in with us, it just takes over half the room that we've got in there.
Will you ever go back? It's just a fun question to ask.
In all honesty, I hope not. Genuinely, I hope not. We do still do timbers at the moment.
Yes.
But they are looking into, I'm led to believe they're looking into doing what we call our rapid plan building to LGS as well. And
fantastic.
For me in my area, the sooner we do it, the better.
Thank you very much for your time, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
No problem at all.
We wanted to talk a little bit about sort of the culture at Wernick, perhaps more Wernick Buildings. You obviously have a good culture. I mean, so far, the people that we've come across, they just seem to enjoy working here.
We only put the happy people forward to see guests, obviously.
You did that, didn't you? I'm sure.
The advantage of being a private company is decision making is very quick.
Yep.
You've got a senior leadership that think in terms of generations opposed to satisfying shareholders. So that then filters all the way down. That the people, the whole way through the organisation know that the senior leadership team are not in it for the short term. They're in it for the long term. And for a business to be sustainable, has to be profitable. You have to, the key to any centre of any business is the staff, the corporate knowledge.
Yep.
And so trying to, balance the work hard, play hard is key to what we do. We try and remove people's, whatever the problems are, management leadership, you try and remove those problems so people can excel at what they do. And it's understanding just human nature that people want to do a good job. And you've got to acknowledge the fact that that's human nature and support them. Delegate down to the lowest level you can. Give people decision-making rights, and then they'll always surprise you.
Yes.
In the factory, what we've done of late is we've gone to a 4-day working week.
Yes.
Which has been fantastic. This is not a civil servant 4-day week, which is basically just cutting off a whole day of work. We take the same number of hours and we've compressed it into 4 days.
Yes.
So it's still a full week.
Yes.
It's just over 4 days.
Fantastic.
And we've got a happy workforce. So happy workforce is key to sustainable business.
Yes, I understand. It's been a year since you introduced that, and it's working really well. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Obviously, you have amazing achievements for over 90 years. What's next? Or is it just carrying on?
You can't just, if you try and just carry on, then in the end you'll lose.
Become irrelevant.
You've got to continue moving. At the moment, so Jonathan Wernick, who's the chief exec, he's in the process actually of rolling out his Vision 30, which is what the group will look like in 2030.
Nice.
So that's actually rolling out over the next few months.
Okay.
And the aspirations are, in a sustainable manner, is to basically double the turnover for 2030. I mean, it's more complicated than just saying we're just going to double turnover.
Yes, of
Very
course.
easy statement to make. And you have to bring people along with you.
Yes.
If you try and grow too quickly, if your aspirations are beyond that of the company to absorb the change, then
Yes.
it will fail. So
Yeah.
it's trying to. So what he's actually doing is he's going around every single element of the business and he's personally briefing it to everyone of what he's trying to achieve. So it's going to be ingrained into people's thoughts.
I like that.
It also, the whole world is in a very turbulent time at the moment.
Yes.
So for the workforce as well, to see the chief exec coming along and talking about this thing will add an amount of gravitas
Yes.
to it.
And it's inspiring as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. I know you're a very busy person, Ben. I appreciate you sharing your time with us.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.